Hi, everyone. We're just waiting for Andrea to jump on camera.
And I jumped.
How are you?
Hi, everyone. And welcome to actually, oh my gosh, it's our last Lunch and Learn of 2020. Goodbye, 2020. We won't miss you at all, will we, Mary Beth?
No, we won't. And especially knowing what we have planned for 2021, it's going to be a good year for SCAN. So, Andrea, I'll let you do the intros and then
Okay, so welcome to our last Lunch and Learn of the year. I'm Andrea. I'm the program director at SCAN. And so again, our last Lunch and Learn of the year. We appreciate your support throughout the year. And we also, after this, we have a special little holiday treat for everyone. We think you're going to enjoy that. And so just a few little housekeeping things. We are recording this, and so it'll be archived on SCAN's YouTube channel. And everyone here who participated today, we will also, in addition, you'll get an email from us, and we'll send you the link on YouTube in case you want to watch it again or in case you want to share it with anyone. We encourage you to look at the bottom of your screen. You see the chat button. So there is a chat feature here. So while the presenters are speaking, you are welcome to, type in the chat, and Mary Beth and I will be monitoring the chat function. And so if you have any questions, we'll make sure that we send them on to the presenter. Can't guarantee that we'll get to everyone's questions, but of course we will do our very best. Okay. So say hello to Mary Beth.
Hi, everyone. Welcome again to SCAN's Lunch and Learn. We have a wonderful presentation today by CareOne. So I'm going to invite both Laurie and Joan on camera with me.
Hi. Hi, everybody.
Ladies, how are you? So as you can see, Joan and Laurie are on the ground at CareOne. So Joan, you're their marketing person for CareOne in Jackson. So I'm going to give you an opportunity to just talk a little bit about CareOne. I'm sorry, Laurie.
Actually, I'm Laurie.
I'm the master throwing me off today.
Harmony Village. And I will tell you, we are an amazing, unique new community who is really setting the bar high for our competition. We are 100% dementia here, and we have 3 separate and distinct neighborhoods. The first one being assisted living with mild cognitive issues, those that just need a little bit of guidance and reminders. And then our middle one is for those with intermediate dementia. And our third neighborhood is for those with severe dementia, Alzheimer's, and behaviors. And the benefit of this community is, say your mom is just a quiet lady who just, isn't safe to be home anymore and needs some guidance. You don't want her being in an apartment right next to these people who are maybe acting out or something like that. She's going to feel safe and secure in that mild cognitive neighborhood. And on staff, we now have our own dementia specialists coming on board. So they're going to be able to, in addition to Joan's guidance, they'll be able to work with the residents, see what actually is bringing on the different types of behaviors or whatever, and work with the residents, the family, and the staff on how to best treat that resident. So it's really an amazing program that we have here. We are assisted living with the 3 forms of dementia. So we also take respite care as well. We welcome wound care here. We are 24-hour nurses on staff. Because this building used to be a rehab and a long-term care facility, the majority of that staff has stayed with us. So we are able to handle a higher acuity level of care. Whereas if you go to those other specialized memory care units, once you reach a certain level, you either have to go to a nursing home or preferably you're going to come here because say you need a Hoyer lift. We're one of the few communities that can work with a Hoyer lift here. So we're here for you. We're here to help our families and guidance between what we do here and what we do with the families. It's just a truly amazing community that we have.
Okay. Can I ask you ladies a quick question? Are you allowing visitors at this point in your facilities?
Right now, thanks to our amazing governor, we can have outside visits and window visits. He has giving for the whole outside visits. Prior to that coming in just before Thanksgiving, we were having essential caregiver inside visits as well. When the governor decides to lift that again, we will welcome our families inside.
Okay, very good. Okay, thank you.
All right,
All right,
well,
Mary
you.
Beth, I'm going to vanish from the screen for a while, and I will see everybody later.
okay. All right, Joan, I'm gonna turn it over to you. And Joan, I'll give you the opportunity to introduce yourself because only you can do it best. So, and then just tell me when you want me to share it and change the slides for you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mary Beth. Thank you for inviting me to speak to you a little bit about what is dementia and how you can have an enjoyable holiday with your loved one who is experiencing cognitive impairments. My name is Joan Di Paola. I'm a registered nurse. I'm working up at CareOne, Harmony Village, CareOne Paramus, and I am the senior director here for Harmony Village for dementia education. I have 41 years experience in nursing, 21 of those years dedicated to dementia care, and I am fortunate to be receive the education to be a dementia educator, family consultant. I'm certified in behavior management, and I'm also a coach for caregivers who are experiencing some challenging behaviors. So I'd just like to start off by saying a little bit about what is dementia. Most people ask me if it is the same thing as Alzheimer's, and you can go to my first slide, please. Dementia is an umbrella term. It's a broad term that talks about different abilities that are impacted by dementia, by different diseases such as Alzheimer's disease, frontal temporal lobe, Lewy bodies, vascular dementia, and there's 100 different diagnoses that are share the same impact on the brain that is associated with dementia. You can go to the next slide. The abilities affected by the four truths about dementia are that it affects always two sides of the brain. It progressive, there's no cure, there's nothing to really stop it, and it keeps progressing and changing as the disease progresses. And it's terminal in the sense that you die from the consequences of the disease, the impact it has on the body. Next slide, please. What I want to talk to you today about is that there's remaining abilities at every stage of dementia. We use negative terms to describe the disease, but if you follow the GEM state model or the developmental age comparison of dementia, we're always looking for positive terms to describe what's occurring at the different stages of dementia. We use terms such as mild, moderate, late, and advanced dementia. If you follow Teepa Snow, who's my mentor, my trainer, she uses different GEM states to talk about the different stages of dementia. But the main point is that at every level of dementia, the abilities are impacted, but there are remaining abilities that we focus on. Memory, short-term memory is minutes to days to one full day. That's all the memory they have, so that they might challenge you and say that we never gave them breakfast, or they never ate lunch today, because that's a weakness for them. They can't remember. Their memory is so short. Long-term memory is anywhere from one full day to as far back as you can remember. I can remember all the way back to my 3rd birthday. That is a strength for somebody with dementia, because that's where we want to be. We want to be in their long-term memory. During the holidays, bringing up old traditions, familiar songs, family traditions, are all places that you want to be during this holiday season with them, because their short-term memory is too short. They're not going to remember. Procedural memory, when you're looking at hosting people with cognitive impairment and you're bringing them to your home, you have to know where they are in their procedural memory. Can they sequence themselves through a familiar task? Do they need help or support in the bathroom? Do they need help or support getting through the meal? And I can teach you the positive care approach when we just move on in the slide a little bit, but I'm just going to stay focused here. Working memory, people in mild dementia, working memory is impaired. Most people can't learn something new when they're diagnosed with Alzheimer's and dementia, and if they learn something new, it only lasts for a very short time, such as cell phones. When we're asking people in mild dementia to use a cell phone, that's not back in their long-term memory, so they struggle with that, and it becomes very frustrating. Or if we're thinking that somebody needs a walker in mild dementia, they might be able to navigate independence with mobility a little bit for a short time using the walker, but as the disease progresses, it's not embedded in that long-term memory. And that long-term memory is in the hippocampus of our brain. It's like a file drawer where we store information, and we, with a healthy brain, can retrieve it, but people with cognitive impairment cannot. People with Alzheimer's and dementia, the diseases are the Alzheimer's or your Lewy bodies, your vascular dementias, they all have an impact on their ability to stay focused and attention. So if you're hosting a holiday event that is going to go on for hours, your best bet is not to have the person with Alzheimer's and dementia there for that long period of time, because their ability to stay focused on any given moment is, in mild dementia, no longer than an hour. Moderate dementia, it's about a half hour. They are affected by the distractions around them. So if you're communicating with them, you have to keep distractions around them at a minimum. They don't do well with a lot of conversation. They need to be able to focus on the speaker, and the background noises and the yelling and distractions can be very, very disconcerting for them. Their ability to stay focused is impaired because when we get to visual spatial, you'll understand why. But we use non-verbal communication to get somebody to focus. I use a lot of demonstration, taking 2 fingers and pointing to my eyes, stay focused on me. I'm the speaker. Because if there's other people talking around them, they can't focus on somebody giving them a verbal command or getting their attention to engage in the conversation around them. People with dementia experience word-finding difficulties. Their language is affected. There might be a lot of repetitive conversation, a lot of repetitive questions. This is where people at the holidays get very frustrated, and families tend to lose their patience because they try to correct the person who's experiencing this brain disease. And it truly is a brain disease. People with dementia don't get as much empathy or sympathy that somebody who had cancer and metastasized to their brain would get. But the repetitive questions are very trying on one's patience. But we have to enhance our communication process, and we have to improve our listening skills here because it can be trying on guests at the holidays. Avoid criticizing and arguing when they're asking repetitive questions. The brain takes 10 to 20 seconds to wait for a response. So if you're giving a lot of commands or you're asking a lot of questions to the person who has this brain disease, you must wait 10 to 20 seconds. You must slow down your conversation with the person, and you must wait at least 10 to 20 seconds for them to process the information that you're giving them. Use use closed-ended questions. You never want to be an open-ended question. So you always give like 2 choices. Do you want the meat, the sweet potatoes or the mashed potatoes? Do you want turkey or ham? Because too many choices leads to confusion for the person with dementia and frustration, and it can lead to untoward behaviors. Be aware of your nonverbal communication, the tone of your voice, your body language, and your facial expressions. People with dementia have a heightened sense to that, and they misinterpret some of your gestures or your rolling of your eyes or frustration with them. So you must be very careful with that. When we're using language to talk to people with dementia, it's not always verbal language. I use a lot of nonverbal cues, photos, gestures, hand demonstration, and gentle touch. But we have to be very careful with touch, because if we're grabbing somebody by the upper arm or the forearm, that could be misconstrued by somebody in moderate stage dementia as a threat, because that's muscle memory. And when you grab somebody in that part of their body, it could be misinterpreted. I can't tell you enough at this point to really eliminate a lot of verbal distraction at the dinner table and wherever the person with dementia will be sitting during the holidays, because they can't process all that information. When we talk about visual spatial skills, people with mild dementia have what we call scuba vision. Scuba vision is if you put your hands, cup your hands and put it around your eyes. They've lost peripheral vision. People with Alzheimer's and dementia have lost about 55% of their peripheral vision. So a normal healthy brain at 65 has lost 45% of their peripheral vision. If I held out my hands and wiggled my fingers, I would be able to see them wiggling. But normal age process, normal age development, and regardless of cataracts, macular degeneration, or cataracts, we lose 45% of our peripheral vision, regardless of the eye disease. Add dementia, we've lost another 10%. Our peripheral vision's coming in. So for somebody with a normal, healthy brain, they're the ones that are winding up in the emergency room. They fell off the curb, they hit the pothole, or they're switching lanes on the highway and they might clip your bumper because of normal loss of vision, peripheral vision. But then add the dementia, they have scuba vision. So dinner place settings have to be something of color for them and within their visual field. So if you practiced ahead of time making that scuba mask over your face and looked at the place setting, too much in front of a family member with dementia can lead to confusion at the mealtime. Also, as the disease advances, if you're dining with somebody in moderate stage, they have what we call binocular vision. Their peripheral vision came in another 10%, so it's greater than 65%. And they don't see the color white very well. So a white dinner plate or a white napkin can be misconstrued as something to eat. They don't see the mashed potatoes on the white dinner plate, or if you had rice or noodles, they're not going to see that. And a white dinner napkin could be something that they think that they should eat, such as bread. So color enhances meals. Back in the 80s, late 80s, when I started studying dementia, we did the red plate study. I think it was the late 80s, early 90s, where red is a marketing tool for people to enhance appetite and thirst. So if you think of Solo cups, they're red, or if you think of Chick-fil-A, they use red as a means to enhance appetite and thirst. We should be doing the same thing during the meal. We should be looking at color. In the bathroom, if you have a white toilet bowl and people are staying with you that have dementia, consider getting an inexpensive at Lowe's or Home Depot, a colored toilet seat. Because if the white toilet is blending in with the colors of your bathroom, they might not see the toilet bowl and might miss it and urinate or defecate on the floor. So a colored toilet seat is very good for people that are experiencing visual deficits with dementia. Also, if somebody is staying overnight in your home during the holidays, you might want to use lighting in the toilet. They sell it in Home Depot and Lowe's, and I believe they sell it in Bed Bath & Beyond, where you put it right underneath the toilet seat and it acts like a nightlight, but it lights up the toilet bowl for people that are having visual impairment related to dementia. People in late stage have what we call monocular vision. They can only really see out of their one eye. So everything has to be very, very close to them. When we go back to the visual spatial and we're talking about glassware, try to have a container that is colored for them, because they don't see that clear glass. And if you're serving alcohol or non-alcoholic beverages, they might see the beverage, the color inside the glass, but when they reach for it, they might misjudge and knock it over. So your best bet is to use color that enhances their vision. People with dementia, unfortunately, have poor judgment. Generally, at this point, they're moving into memory care, such as one of the CareOnes, because they can't be left alone. They cannot operate a microwave. They can't drive a car safely. They're getting lost. But they believe, especially in mild, that there's nothing wrong with them. When we think of dementia and a car, the car window in front of us is very vast and we can see far ahead of us. People in mild dementia tend to blame others for entering into a memory care, that they feel that there's nothing wrong with them, that the family is to blame. and they're just experiencing normal age memory impairment, and that's not true. Not everybody that ages, people in 90s, people in late 90s do not get dementia. We don't know why certain people do, but not everybody gets it. So they deny their abilities, and they feel that they can drive safely. They're losing control at this point. And when we take things away, such as the car and privileges, they tend to blame other people, rightfully so. Orientation generally gets mixed up with memory, but orientation is time, place, and person, the seasons, the year that it is. But this is where families tend to get into a little bit of trouble with communication skills with people with dementia, because they start bombarding people with questions. Do you remember Uncle Mike? Do you remember our last vacation? Do you remember this? That question, do you remember? They can't possibly remember. They have truly a brain disease that has affected their memory. And when we put them on the spot, do you remember? They can't remember. This is where you're going to see condescending remarks from the person that's suffering from Alzheimer's dementia, frustration, irritability. When they can't remember and they're being forced to remember something. Again, the best thing to do is use close-ended questions. Use photos to recall certain events that you're communicating about, or visual cues. And sequencing. Can the person that's coming to your house for the holidays remember how to sequence through familiar tasks, or do they need cueing and supervision? Do they need reminders? When we're doing place settings at the holidays, keep it simple in front of the person with dementia. For somebody that's in very, very mild dementia, you can have the dinner plate and the beverage glass and the proper utensils that they would use for the meal. But if somebody is in moderate stage, that's too much in front of them, too much confusion. You're going to set them up for failure. They might start eating with the knife. They might put their mashed potatoes in the coffee mug. They might pour their beverage on the mashed potatoes. And what we're trying to accomplish during the holiday meal is to maintain dignity at all times. If they need something to cover their clothes because they might not have good skills from the plate to their mouth, you might want to use a clothing protector. For toddlers, we call it a bib. For infants and toddlers, we call it a bib. But for adults, you can say Mom or Dad or Aunt Mary or Grandma, we're going to put a clothing protector on you because you have such a beautiful outfit on. Keep your terms positive. When we're addressing them, use a familiar name. The positive care process is always never touch a resident. You can move to the next screen. Never touch a resident without gaining trust and approval, because that can lead to confusion, especially if they're unsure of who is who in the family, or neighbors or guests that might be there that they're not familiar with. Always introduce yourself. A handshake is a universal cue, a visual cue that I'm not going to hurt you. I want to get to know you. Always pay the person a compliment. It leads to that positive connection with the person who's suffering from Alzheimer's and dementia. Share information, but keep it at a minimum. When we talk about language deficit, people in mild dementia should only be given 3 choices, and people in moderate 2 choices. But when you pay a compliment to somebody, it opens that personal connection. It gives that positive connection that there's some connection there. It might not be acknowledged immediately, but as time goes on, it becomes a familiar trust cue that we want to give them. Notice something about the environment, whether you're in their home or your home, that might stir a memory of their past. As I said, keep the music at a minimum and low-toned. Everybody at every stage of dementia, music touches their heart and soul. But sometimes at the holidays, we can see tearful moments. And acknowledge that. Always acknowledge their frustration, their mood state, and explore their feelings. Seek information. Does that song make you sad? Does that song make you happy? Because we always misinterpret tears. Just the other day, I had somebody crying, and I was exploring it from a sad point of view, and she said, this song reminds me of such happy memories of the past. So we have to make that positive connection. Keep an unhurried approach. Don't rush them through the meal. Don't rush them through conversation. It has to be very, very slow. Watch your tone of your voice. Communication is an exchange of information, but listening exchange is also important. Understanding, providing empathy, and a caring approach will lead to a successful holiday event. There will be stresses and stressors that can affect the day. If there's going to be children at the holiday event, remember the visuospatial I'm talking about, the scuba vision and binocular vision, making sure that there's no toys on the floor that can cause tripping and fall hazards, making sure that they're playful time, and children need playful time at the holidays. They can't sit at the holiday table as long as an adult can, but their attention span is just as limited as somebody with Alzheimer's and dementia. So you might want to separate the children when they're getting loud or very, very playful, because it could be disturbing and causing stress to somebody with Alzheimer's and dementia. Watch your emotional responses, as I said. Watch your nonverbal communication, your anxiety or your anger or guilt, because you might be thinking of placing a loved one, and you're seeing that there has been a decline during this holiday celebration, and it can lead to feelings of guilt, or if you're losing your patients, because they pick up on those feelings. In order to be an effective caregiver, you must take care of yourself physically, emotionally, and spiritually, because otherwise you will not be successful. It takes a team to take care of somebody with Alzheimer's and dementia. That's why facilities such as CareOne Memory Care, these communities have a team behind us. We have 3 shifts. We have a lot of support. Seek support. If you're concerned about the holiday, we run support groups. We can give you more education if you're experiencing behaviors, because behaviors is just an action that causes a reaction, and it's a form of communication, because language is effective. It's when, and please don't take this the wrong way, but when we're talking about developmental age comparison, we have to have a foundation. And when I teach this course, it's an aha moment in dementia, that somebody that's lashing out and hitting or kicking is really at a developmental age comparison of about a 3-year-old to 18 months, where temper tantrums arise. And by no means do we compare it to children, but if we understand where they're at, we can meet them where they are in their journey with this disease. When somebody is repeatedly saying, I want to go home, what is home? It's not necessarily the brick and mortar of where they last lived, where they grew up as a child, or where they are when they got married. Home is an emotion. And in nursing school, we always learn that hearing is the last sense to go, which is true. They can hear us right at the end stage of dementia in that pearl state. But home is a place where we feel safe and secure. So look at the distractions. Look around the environment. Is the environment too cold? Is it too loud? Are there unmet needs? Are they hungry? Are they off schedule from wherever they're coming from to enjoy the holiday with you? And look at those indicators that might be able to be changed, because once we change the environment, we can change behaviors. And we can make it a successful event. I'm wishing everybody a very happy and stress-free holiday. If you have any questions, the next screen has my email address. You can always email me, and I'd be more than happy to provide. The last screen will have my email address. I'm always very happy to call. You can call me. I didn't put my phone number up there, but email me, and then I will be able to get back in touch with you with my phone number. I can do a Zoom, I can do a telephone call with you, and I can give you more education. I can do support for you, or give you the right guidance and direction on where you are on the journey with a loved one who's experiencing dementia. And again, thank you very much for this opportunity. If you have any questions, I'm here.
Okay, Joan, hi, it's Andrea. I'm behind the wall here, but there's a couple of questions for you.
Sure.
First of all, who did you say your mentor was?
I have been trained by a company called CPI. It's Crisis Prevention Institute. That's where I got my education. And that information is very good for professionals. It's very in-depth. It talks a lot about, it's great for healthcare professionals that have a background in the different dementias, the Alzheimer's, the frontal lobe, the Lewy bodies. But who my true mentor is I'm a follower of Teepa Snow, Teepa. Her last name is Snow, Snow. She's on YouTube. A lot of her older videos are on there, which you are free to watch. I have a lot of cheat sheets, handouts. She's been mentoring me for 15 years. I do a lot of videos to keep my credentials active for her. And she's great for people that need some kind of education or support. She's wonderful. She's on Facebook every night at 5 and every morning at 8. And she also does conferences for people that want to. She just had a huge conference a couple of weeks ago, but she is very, very experienced. She's an occupational therapist and she mentors me.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that. And what about, does CareOne offer any support groups?
Yes, we do. I'm from Northern New Jersey, Bergen County, and we run a support group every month. And we do here as well as, I'm in Jackson today. We run support groups. We run education meetings at CareOne. We have a program called Food for Thought. And now that we have limited visiting and the COVID virus has struck, we do a Zoom Food for Thought, just like what I'm doing now. Families give me a topic. I do a Zoom meeting. We invite the public and we discuss it. And it's usually over dinner or lunch. So we do that as well.
So if people wanted to know more about the support groups, could they just contact CareOne at Jackson?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Another question that we had, I'm sorry, go ahead.
The CareOne Jackson has its own website for the contact information, and you can contact them, call them directly, and they will guide you to the right person that can give you more information about support groups.
All right.
And I think that I just want to elaborate on that. I don't know of anybody that has a loved one with Alzheimer's and dementia that doesn't need support. So support groups are very healthy. In order, like I said, to be an effective caregiver, you need the support, and CareOne is here to give it.
Okay. Another question here is, are you able to tell if you yourself are in the beginning stages of dementia?
Yes, but I would be cautiously guarded to give you that information. If you're experiencing short-term memory, long-term memory loss, you need a complete physical. You need to get to your doctor because there are reversible dementias, such as dehydration. Side effects of medication cause memory impairment, slurred speech, lack of concentration, brain fog, encephalopathy, infections, urinary tract infections, big, that causes the umbrella term of dementia. So if you're experiencing anything that you feel might be related to Alzheimer's and dementia, I would advise you to get a complete workup. Vitamin deficiencies, your Bs, your Ds. During COVID time, we're really strongly advocating boosting your Ds and your zinc because you deplete those vitamins with COVID. But with dementia, we see a depletion of vitamin B. So it's always good to get a complete workup, blood work, get your thyroid checked, because once all that's ruled out, then they would refer you to a neurologist where you could have some brain scans and cognitive testing. I use an Allen cognitive tool, I don't use a mini mental when we're assessing people for memory impairment. It doesn't give me much information because when we're in a facility, we're looking at best ability to function. But the neurologists have many different tools to use and diagnostic testing such as CAT scans and MRIs.
Okay, thank you for that, Joan. Okay, Mary Beth, you want to pop back in?
Okay, I'm here. Okay. All right. Thanks, Andrea. I was having technical difficulties on my end. Joan, that information was invaluable. I'm a caretaker for an aunt with dementia, and I've learned so many things from this presentation today. So extremely, extremely helpful. And I will put in our thank you message to everyone. Your contact info will be there. And I'm also going to put the link for Teepa Snow because I personally watched that. And I would say she is a very supportive, and just her way is very relaxing, that if you're having a moment, I think watching a Teepa Snow video would definitely calm a caregiver down a little bit.
I would say to you that I've been friends with her for 15 years, maybe even more now. She's very theatrical, but theatrical in the sense that what she's showing you is exactly what you're going to experience. So she's right on. She's very experienced, very empathetic and understanding, and very, very supportive. I would have to say that it would behoove you to watch a couple of her videos if you're dealing with somebody with a loved one with dementia.
Yes. Well, Joan, we wish you a very happy holiday as well. And we thank you for being with us today.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. And again, reach out to me by email and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. I wish everybody a happy holiday season and stay well, be safe, and try to make the most of the holiday.
That's wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Joan. Thank you. Okay, everyone, I'm going to, bye, Lori. Thank you. I'm going to invite up on screen, and Joan's going to turn her video off. Hi, Pat, our executive director.
Hello, how are you all doing? I enjoyed that presentation too. So I want to thank Joan and Lori and CareOne, but also the whole caregiving community for all of the stuff that they do. CareOne has been a sponsor of SCAN for several years, and we really do appreciate their participation. It's really an honor for me to be on your show today. I know that this is the last one for the season. And for one reason or another, I can't wait for this year to be over. I'm sure all of you feel the same way. So we've been challenged, I think, at every step of the way. I think we learned a lot of new lessons in regards to families and friends and community. I think that SCAN has conquered this virtual reality world. And I think that we have been really very successful in keeping our promise to our members and to the community, where we're able to keep seniors active through our classes and our special events like today, keep our seniors healthy through our evidence-based programs and our social exchanges. We know for you to stay healthy, you need to be social. You need to be able to talk to other people. You need to be able to exchange ideas with other people. I do know that we have a lot of things planned for 2021 to make that happen. But I am so pleased. The other piece that we do, I think we do well, is keep you connected to the community and the information. One of our new additions this year is the Wednesday morning Welcome to SCAN for Your Information, and it's hosted by Mary Beth and Andrea. And we have really wonderful guests who bring up-to-date information to us. You know that we do our TV shows, but we usually pre-tape those well in advance, so it's not necessarily the breaking news of the day, but our Welcome to SCAN for Your Information is. I mean, we had some great guests like the county clerk talking about how to vote this year in regards to the process. We had the director of the county Board of Health talking about COVID. So we have access to a lot of good, informed people, and we will continue to do that in 2021. As most of you know, we had recently done a survey, asking you if you wanted to come back for in-person classes for the winter semester, which starts in January. And to say the least, you all said no, absolutely not. And so we really listened to that because you're our customer. And we have decided that the winter semester and probably beyond will be virtual. But whatever happens in regards to the pandemic and the vaccines is that I think SCAN has learned that we need to stay virtual plus have our in-person classes. We can just reach so many more people. And when we look at the sphere of influence in regards to aging, I mean, there's thousands of seniors in Monmouth County and Ocean County being the second largest senior community in the country. And just think about their need to be connected. So virtual is the only way for us to do that. So you can count on us. We will continue to do both because, again, in person is just as important so that you can have that cup of coffee with your friend and get that hug. But I think that we have learned a lot. We're going to be undertaking a strategic plan for SCAN for the next 3 years. We'll probably be sending you another survey for your comments and input in regards to what are we doing well and what should we stop doing, and any new ideas that we can incorporate into our program would be greatly appreciated. We also have a new impact statement. With all of the stuff going on in the world, we had really kind of zeroed in on inclusion and diversity. And so we've come up with an impact statement, which will be on our website as of the first of the year. But we really want to talk the talk and walk the walk and not just have an impact statement. So we're going to be looking at that closely during our strategic planning process. The plan will be for the next 3 years. And so it's really important that we get your input. And again, I can't say this enough, but I'm so thankful for the staff of SCAN, for our sponsors who, again, without them, we wouldn't be able to be here today. Our board of directors who have been very supportive, and to our loved ones. So here's a big hug from SCAN to you. Please have a wonderful holiday. Thank you.
Thank you, Pat, for the holiday send-off. We hope you all have a wonderful holiday. And we would like to share with all of you our SCAN holiday treat. I would like to introduce David Meehan, who is a very good friend to SCAN. He also is our acting and improv teacher. So without any further ado, I'd like to hand it over to David, and I hope you all will sing along.
Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to my studio. It's David Meehan, and thanks, Mary Beth, so much for that introduction. Well, we thought we would pick up the holiday season a little bit and just give you a few sing-along songs to come along with, all right? Who cares if you mess up the words or the lyrics? You can hum them if you don't know the whole thing. That's what I usually do. And just to let you know ahead of time, I'm the world's worst piano player, which is going to make this even that much easier. All right? So it's all about just having some fun. All right. Now, you know why I like this first song that I picked? Because it's the most wonderful time of the year. Come on, sing it. It's the most wonderful time of the year. With the kids jingle belling and everyone telling you'll be of good cheer. It's the most wonderful time of the year. Ha! It's the happiest season of all. With the holiday greetings and gay happy meetings, friends come to call. It's the happiest season of all. There'll be parties for hosting, marshmallows for toasting, caroling out in the snow. There'll be scary ghost stories and tell of the glories Christmas is long, long ago. It's the most most wonderful time of the year. There'll be much mistletoeing and hearts will be glowing. Loved ones are near. It's the most wonderful time. Again, it's the most wonderful time. One more. It's the most wonderful time of the year. All right. Hey, now this next song that we're going to do, I know it sounds kind of funny, but this was actually written as a Thanksgiving song. Thanksgiving song. Who would have known? I bet you don't know what this one is. But you'll probably get it as we go. It's all about dashing. And I love the fact that in verse 2, their sleigh breaks down and they get upset. Upset means they had a little bit of holiday cheer. Dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh, o'er the fields we go, laughing all the way. Bells hum, bobtail ring, making spirits bright. What fun it is to ride and sing sleighing song tonight. Oh, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Oh, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Okay, now listen to the lyrics on this one, right? Here you go. A day or two ago, I thought I'd take a ride, and soon Miss Fanny Bright was seated by my side. The horse was lean and lank. Okay, why is that horse lean and lank? Get a good one. Misfortune seemed his lot. He got into a drifted bank, and we got upset. Oh, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Oh, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. All right, who knew that was written actually as a Thanksgiving song? Now, another song that has become known for the holidays, and who knew this is from The Sound of Music. What? How could that become a holiday song? But it has been. It's become a tradition. And this is from, like I said, The Sound of Music. You guys are going to love this, okay? Sing along. You probably know most of the words. Raindrops on roses and whiskers on kittens, bright copper kettles, warm woolen mittens, brown paper packages tied up with strings. These are a few of my favorite things. Cream-colored ponies and crisp apple strudels, doorbells and sleigh bells and schnitzel with noodles, wild geese that fly with the moon on their wings. These are a few of my favorite things. Girls in white dresses with blue satin sashes, snowflakes that stay on my nose and eyelashes, silver white winters that melt into springs. These are a few of my favorite things. When the dog bites, when the bee stings, when I'm feeling sad, I simply remember my favorite things, and then I don't feel so bad. Yep, somewhere or another, that's become a holiday tradition, and it was a Broadway show. All right. Now this one was written way before the TV movie came out, and you'll know this one, especially when we get to the chorus. You know Dasher and Dancer, Prancer and Vixen, Comet, Cupid, Donner and Blitzen. What do you recall? The most famous reindeer of all. Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer had a very shiny nose, and if you ever saw it, you would even say it glows like a light bulb. All of the other reindeer used to laugh and call him names. They never let poor Rudolph join in any reindeer games. Then what happened? Then one foggy Christmas Eve, Santa came to say, Rudolph, with your nose so bright, won't you guide my sleigh tonight? Then how the reindeer loved him as he shouted out with glee, Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer, you'll go down in history. All right, that one's been around for a while. Now, this next one I like so much. It's been a traditional Christmas carol. Actually, started out in Germany, and as many did actually, and it's become a real big tradition here. Silent Night. Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright, round yon virgin mother and child, holy infant so tender and mild, sleep in heavenly peace, sleep in heavenly peace. In high school, I had learned this in another language, actually. Noche de paz, noche de amor, todo duerme alrededor, solo suenan en la oscuridad armonías de felicidad, armonías de paz, armonías de paz. Really pretty song. All right. Now, of course, what happens when it's out there, when it snows? I hope you guys are all singing. I kind of hear you. Careful, I'm like the elf on the shelf. I can see and hear you. All right, make sure you are. All right. So this one goes kind of with the Jingle Bells one. Sleigh bells ring, are you listening? In the lane, the snow is glistening. Beautiful sight, we're happy tonight, walking in a winter wonderland. Gone away is the bluebird, here to stay is the new bird. He sings the love song as we go along, walking in a winter wonderland. In the meadow we can build a snowman, then pretend that he is Parson Brown. He'll say, are you married? We'll say, no, man. You can do the job when you're in town. Later on, we'll conspire as we dream by the fire to face unafraid the plans that we've made, walking in a winter wonderland. Okay, now I have to tell you, when I was a kid, I thought it was we'll perspire at the fire from In the Meadow. So let's just sing that part again, but we don't have to perspire at the fire. In the meadow we can build a snowman, then pretend that he's Parson Brown. He'll say, are you married? We'll say, no, man. You can do the job when you're in town. Later on we'll perspire as we sit by the fire to face unafraid the plans that we've made. Walking in a winter wonderland. Walking in a winter wonderland. Walking in a winter wonderland. We'll perspire as we sit by the fire. It makes total sense to me as a kid. All right. I hope you've had a little bit of fun with this one. But of course, how could we not finish with one of everybody's favorites, and of course, Bing Crosby's favorite. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, just like the ones I used to know, where the treetops glisten and children listen to hear sleigh bells in the snow. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, with every Christmas card I write. May your days be merry and bright, and may all your Christmases be white. May your days be merry and bright, and may all your Christmases be white. And thanks for joining me, everybody. Hope to see you at Scan real soon again. All right. Bye-bye. Have a great night.
Thank you very much, David. That was beautiful. And I failed to say that David was on Broadway early in his career, and I could hear some of that coming through in some of his music. So thank you so much, very much, David. All right, Andrea.
Okay, Mary Beth, I think we're done, and I appreciate everyone who was with us today. Much appreciation. Reminding you that this was recorded. We'll send you out the link. And as Pat said, we won't be seeing you in the winter, but let's hope we can hold out hope for the spring.
We'll send a hug to everyone.
A virtual hug.
Yes.
Best wishes for happy holidays, whatever you celebrate. Stay healthy, stay safe. That's the most important thing. And we'll see you next year.
2021.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. Andrew, do you have the screen share, just the curtains?
Yep, let me get it. Oops. Ah. Yeah, we wanted to make sure we gave you the contact information. Some of you were interested in getting in touch with the folks at Harmony Village in Jackson. Okay. Bye, everyone. See you next year.